Hello everyone. So another weekend, another review. This time it's Charlotte, North Carolina. My review of the place. I had a good time. Let me just get this out of the way as I promised in my last video. The Hornets won. Kawhi Leonard missed the game winner on his end, so the Hornets won by 1 point. So hey, a win's a win. You know, yay, home team. So now to Charlotte, North Carolina. Excuse me. Charlotte is a very, I dare say, the most complicated place to review. Let me get certain points out of the way. Number one, it is a good city to go to because lots of people move to Charlotte, North Carolina. In fact, it seems like everyone's moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, to the point where when you try to meet the people who live in Charlotte, you're meeting all different people from everywhere. So to find someone who was born and raised from a family born and raised in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, it's very hard to meet that person because so many people move there. I don't blame them for moving there. It is cheaper than most major cities. Charlotte's huge. It fits so many people. So, you know, the buying of houses is very easy to find in Charlotte, North Carolina. So to gauge how the people are is very hard because there's so many different people from everywhere. To find a native was probably the most difficult thing I had to do when seeing. But the people are friendly regardless. People are moved there to have a good time, to avoid the stresses of overly pretentious lifestyles, and it is a fun environment. Uptown is amazing, if not very small. I mean, the parks are set up beautifully. You could hop around all day long and see everything in a day, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing because you can see it all in a day. Like literally, like you could run laps around Uptown Charlotte, North Carolina, and it'd be a reasonable lap to do. I'm not kidding. Like, you could run laps around it, and it's really not that big. It's not that small, but it's not that big either. Compared to most major cities, I was expecting a bit more because I heard so much about Charlotte. But what lacks Uptown in size, the rest of Charlotte, North Carolina is huge. Lots of suburban life. Like I said, people move there all the time. So I guess the room is for people moving to Charlotte. I think that's how it works, because Uptown's really, it's big, but it's not that big. So the suburban life is really where it's at, where everyone's moving and there's so much room it could fit people who want to move there. You know, it does have the outdoor theme park where it's really you know, the outdoor life, but in a controlled environment. So rock climbing, you know, river rafting, you know, things like that. It has that, and it's very in controlled environment. They have obstacle courses, zip lining. If you like the outdoors, it's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to get away from most places. Just walk around, try some things. I tried the rock climbing. I'm not really good at it. But I did try the obstacle courses. It was a lot of fun trying to figure out how to get from one end to the other. They do have a theme park called Carowinds, which is basically the Six Flags of the Carolinas. It's basically on the North Carolina, South Carolina border. I didn't get to go because I was so sore after working out that I'm like, I cannot walk around a theme park right now. Sorry. So that was that. But the people are friendly. I will visit Carowinds. I hopefully, cross my fingers, I visit Carowinds when I go to South Carolina. Hopefully it's not too far of a drive. Oh, and speaking of driving, because of the amount of people who move in Charlotte, traffic progressively gets worse every year. And because of the amount of driving you need to do, Ubers can be very expensive. I think I spent more on Uber than anything else I did in Charlotte. Like, that's how much driving's involved. But overall, it's worth the trip. I recommend it. So, yeah, there you go. Charlotte, North Carolina.